man is so intelligent. We know how to artificially inseminate a child. We know how to split atoms and create things that create such devastation, and we can't tame our tongues. We have ascertained this knowledge, the deep knowledge of the things of earth. We've found out how to mine and refine and combust. But we don't know how to tame our tongue. And so, I'm guilty, and I'm sure Edwin's guilty. Taming the tongue is so difficult. I'm not crazy. It's just difficult.
And it is difficult when you try to tame your tongue. And, I've tried to stop saying things before I've actually said them, because words are just so powerful, and words are used every single day to express how you feel towards others, and how you express in words how you feel towards your wife or your spouse or your children or whoever it may be, or your husband. And you have to choose your words carefully, because one thing that happens is when you speak something into the atmosphere, it usually shows up. And one of the things that I kind of want to bring up, Brian, this is kind of off subject. I can still remember to this day these two guys that I used to listen to as rap music a long time ago, and they spoke death over their life. And I can remember this actual one song that I used to actually listen to all the time. It was called Suicidal Thoughts. And this guy is expressing how he was ready to die, and how he was ready to just give up on life. And through this whole song, he's expressing his thoughts and how they're so suicidal, and he's expressing how he's ready to pass on, he's ready to die. And that was actually the name of his album. And then I can also remember the other guy, he just spoke death over his life, and you would listen to some of his lyrics, and he knew he was on a path to hell, and he knew that he had a lot of issues, and he knew that demons were after him, and he just knew that he had this purpose to die, and he died. And then 6 months later, the other guy that had that other song, he passed away and died. But I can remember, like, wow, how thinking that way, and now God has shown me that they spoke that. They spoke that into existence. So you have to be really careful on how you choose your words, because when you speak things, they actually show up. And just an example of that is when you call somebody that you know, or if you call your children to you, they usually show up, right? It's the same thing with our words. So this morning we're going to be discussing that, and I'm going to ask Brian some questions. They're going to be the same questions. He's going to give his insight. I'm going to give my insight, and then we'll go from there. And then if you guys have any questions, you guys can shoot some questions up. But I'm going to start with the first question, Brian. Are words just words?
Are words just words? This is really interesting. We can look at Ephesians 4:29, and this kind of gives us an insight to this question, and it gives actually a very definitive answer. And I hear this from so many people. It's just, to me, it's just words, right? It's just words. It's not hate speech. I'm not trying to be filthy mouthed or anything like that, or do it on purpose, but to me, they're just words, and there's no offense in them. And in Ephesians 4:29, Marie, if you could put that up, it talks directly to this. Listen to what is said here. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Now, it's really hard for me to talk about this, because I feel like many people that were to give this message, to live this message, have dealt with this, have struggled with this, taming the tongue. But Paul says, don't let anything unwholesome come out of your mouth. And here's the deal with this. Whether you were to agree with, are they just words, say you think that they're just words, whether you agree with that or not, even back then, when the scripture was written, society, somewhere, someplace, dictated words are not just words. Words can be filthy, words can be hurtful, words can break down, or words can build up. So whether you believe what you're saying, they're just words, you as a Christian Society is going to judge you by your words, whether you think they're right or they're wrong. So no matter what, words are not just words. And yes, society, you being a Christian, society hears your speech. They are going to throw stones at you, and they're going to seek to judge you. So you need to understand this morning, words aren't just words, because if you believe that, you have just put your witness, your testimony in jeopardy with that very thought process.
Amen. And words are not just words. Anybody here has had somebody say something to you mean or hurtful and still remember the time, the place, where it was, who was around, was it in the kitchen, was it in the bathroom, was it, basically you can remember the time frame of when those injurious words were spoken to you. And words are just, they're injurious. They like Brian said, they can build up, they can tear down, and they produce life and death. And the scripture I'm going to use is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, and we're going to look at the Amplified Bible. And look what this says: death and life are in the power of the tongue. So that means death, we have the power to speak death, and we also have the power to speak life. Jesus spoke life, right? Can we agree on that? Amen? Amen. He spoke life, and the disciples said, well, where are we going to go? Because you have the words that are spirit and they are life. So we have the power to either speak death over someone, or we can speak life over someone. And they indulge, it says, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it, for death or life. I'm going to read from there. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it and indulge in it will eat its fruits and bear the consequences of their words. So we also bear consequences of our words when we actually speak our words. There's consequences behind them. We will be judged by our actions. We also will be judged by our words, our idle words, the words that we shouldn't have said, the words that we have said. So you have to remember that you can actually speak death into a situation or life into a situation. And the one thing I've actually learned as a Christian, Brian, is if I can't speak life into a situation, maybe I shouldn't just speak at all. Maybe I should just not say anything at all. And one thing I can use as an example, God showed me one day, I was complaining about a certain situation. And I kept complaining about it, and it was not getting better. And he said, you know what? The enemy is going to keep sending this same calamity because you keep complaining about it. He knows that it's an issue for you and you're losing your peace because he's going to keep sending the same thing because you keep complaining about it. If you would speak to the situation, if you would speak life into the situation, maybe the enemy would send something different. And from that day, I started to understand that, wow, I have a lot of power in this tongue. Maybe I shouldn't complain so much and speak life into a situation. But, we do have power, to speak life and death into situations.
I'd like to add to that. Jesus spoke to this situation directly. As far as speech and speaking, and how about this combative dialogue with an unbeliever, and how you should choose your words. Jesus spoke to this directly in Matthew 21, verses 23 to 27, if you can pop that up. He speaks to this directly. This was just after the triumphal entry, and he's in the synagogue, and he's speaking. Jesus entered the temple courts, and while he was teaching, the chief priests and elders of the people came to him, and they said this, Jesus, by what authority are you doing these things? They asked. And who gave you this authority? Keep going. Jesus replied, I will also ask you one question. So Jesus, they're trying to corner Jesus. Now, if you've spent any time in the Word of God, that's what they do. Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, they try and corner Jesus in front of people to discredit him. And as a believer, speaking about your belief in front of non-believers, they will try and discredit you. And so you cannot sometimes feel bad about refraining from your speech to them. It is okay to walk away. Listen to what Jesus said. He replied, I will ask you one question as well. If you answer me, I will tell you by what authority I am doing these things. John's baptism, he says, you know John's baptism, where did it come from? Was it from heaven or of human origin? They discussed it amongst themselves and said, if we say from heaven, he will ask, then why didn't you believe him? But if we say of human origin, we are afraid of the people, because John the Baptist was like a huge folklore figure back in the day. The people loved him, for they all hold that John was a prophet. So Jesus is saying, I'll go ahead and answer you, but listen to me first and answer this. And if you get it right, I'll answer you. So they answered Jesus, we don't know. So they all huddled up into a little, huddle, and they tried to get a decent answer together, and with all their wisdom and all their knowledge, this was their answer. Well, we don't know. Then he said, neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things.
And that's actually awesome, Brian. When you were reading that and how Jesus was, he didn't have to answer them. He didn't answer them. And, sometimes as a Christian, and I've had this happen, you'll get these combative, thoughts and issues that are thrown at you, and they want answers. And the Bible tells us sometimes not to answer them. And that's in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Jesus says, do not give that which is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, for they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. And I had to learn this the hard way. When I first became a believer, I was so excited, and I wanted to tell everybody about the gospel, and here everybody is tearing me to pieces. So I had to learn when to bite my tongue and not say anything and not answer anything. And then there is times where people come to you with genuine questions where you have to be ready and have to have a word ready to explain why you believe the way you believe. But that's a good point that you made there, Brian. Do you want to move on to the second question? Or?
Yeah.